upon entering an estate that has long lost its former beauty and glory, at a decayed foyer where you sometimes only see a mirror, but other times you see the portrait of its former master, a disembodied voice narrates in a sardonic manner the supernatural situation in which the house holds its ethereal guests, and the dire situation in which mortal guests have trapped themselves into. Faceless, yet with his mortal state hanging above us at the stretching, not sing-alongs nor stories or any other kind of media ever told us what he used to be before he reached his supernatural state. Fans were forced to make associations between concept art, clues, and their own imagination to give the first ghost we ever encounter at the house a face and a name. But who is he? Was he a former owner? The master himself? The head of servants, perhaps? Find out here in our 1K subscriber special here in Stories from the Mansion. This channel is made for all of us who are just dying for some Haunted Mansion stories and who love the hot and cold running chills from the abandoned estate. Keep subscribing and help me grow this into the biggest Haunted Mansion communities ever heard of. Now let's get inside the mansion, shall we? The haunted house tour had to be given by someone. Ever since the house was designed, there was a spiel to be given regarding former owners and current curses. At the beginning, there was Walt. Yes, a disembodied Walt Disney was to give folks the real chills about the house's former inhabitants and tragedies, but then the idea gradually changed. At Bloodmere Manor, and later Gore Manor, a butler named Beauregard was to give the tour and explain together with the ghostly voice of Priscilla Gore intervening every now and then. If you wish to see how the experience of that unmade mansion was to be, please watch our Unmade Haunted Mansions video or our Gore video. Now let's move along. But when the attraction was changed from a walkthrough to a vehicle-based one, the idea of a guide or a butler changed. Perhaps a non-human tour guide would accommodate itself better to the new ride. Basing themselves on the Nevermore Raven, a possessed raven perched right next to its deforming master's bust, was to accompany guests throughout the house, giving them key explanations about the tragic events and current manifestations. The idea survives today, with the raven being present in every room the ghost host talks to us, except of course on the graveyard drop. After the raven, in one of the scripts, a talking bust is mentioned at the foyer, placed at a far corner to attract guests in. The bust, referred to as Ghostly Voice, would give the following opening statement.
When the dismal knell of a requiem bell calls the spirits from the tomb, and the mournful sound of a baying hound chills your soul with an aura of gloom, then the spirits rise on a ghostly wind, wailing their song of doom.
After that, at the stretching room, you'd hear what the script refers to as the ghost host, welcoming you with an almost unchanged dialogue as the one there is at the mansion today. This script is important, giving distinction between what appears to be the master of the house, represented in the bust, and a host, which is another character. Later, the bust was discarded, and the ghost host was the only that remained. Paul Frees, who voiced this character, tried several different voices, using a Transylvanian accent and a Peter Lorre intonation, until he used a current deep-voiced man with no apparent origin voice. Shh, let's listen to his many voices.
I am your friendly ghost guide. I will take you to see all sorts of marvelous wraiths, disembodied spirits from crypts and tombs all over the world.
I am your friendly ghost guide. I'm going to take you to see all sorts of marvelous wraiths.
As to the only look we have at him aside from his corpse, a Mark Davis concept art of the Hatchet Man shows him named as the Ghost Host, proving that is his phantasmagorical look. But what do fans have to say about what one of the scripts calls as the most dangerous ghost of the mansion? In the fanfictions, the Ghost Host and Master Gracie are one and the same. In this fanfiction, the Ghost Host inherits the estate and fortune after his mother kills his father with an axe. Sounds familiar? He is obsessed with the occult, so he looks for mediums and curses. He is obsessed with the occult, so he looks for mediums at circuses where he finds Leota to hire her as a clairvoyante. Later, at another circus, he finds the tightrope girl whom he marries. Leota gets jealous and bewitches the tightrope walker into doing her act on top of an alligator, only to suddenly wake up and fall. The Ghost Host eventually finds another woman called Emily and plans to marry her. Yet since Leota is jealous, she locks Emily at an attic trunk where she dies. Wanting to trap the Ghost Host forever, she plans to hex his soul to trap it inside a crystal ball, but he hangs himself from the rafters before allowing that to happen, finding his way out of the cursed relationship. Leota then ends up trapped in her own crystal ball. In the comics, the character of Master and Ghost Host are also mixed. Here, he is a mariner at a ship commanded by Captain William. The Ghost Host decides to start a matinee where he decapitates the captain and names himself Captain Blood. Years later, when he gets an estate at the riverfront, he is haunted by the decapitated ghost of the former captain, making his head appear and disappear from his neck and into a hatbox. So, which stories do you have of the Ghost Host? Let me know in the comment section. And if you really like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe so we can reach the 9,999 happy haunts. There's always room for many more here in Stories for the Mansion.